Thank you all for following our program today, the Lumumba Day program with our survivors from Rwanda, connecting the dots from Rwanda to the region, to Africa, and to the globe. Our program was interrupted. We were hacked. The studio was attacked. However, we were at the end of our conversation, and we thank you for joining us. There was one more question that we were gonna take from the audience. We had it queued. However, we have run out of time for our broadcast, and we just wanted to wrap it up by giving an opportunity to both our the survivors who gave testimony today and who also were our guests and give not only their testimonies but analysis and hope. And just wanted you both Nadine and Freeman to wrap this conversation up with the hope that we want to spread all over Africa. Not only the hope, but what we are pushing for in terms of really realizing the vision that Lumumba had for Africa and Africans and descendants of Africa in the world. So let me start with you, Nadine, and then come to you, Freeman.
Yeah, thank you, Claude. Thank you again. So for to continue the legacy for Lumumba, we have to keep speaking up, preaching the truth, denouncing those who are doing wrong. So that's the most important thing as Africans. Like I say, we have to stop supporting our bad leaders and actually look for the good ones and give them support. Also, I know, especially like people from Rwanda, people of where I come from, there is this tendency of Rwandan government to try to silence us by using intimidation, defamation, lies. Like we get a lot of lies put on us. Also, killing. They especially people who are living in Rwanda. Anybody who is a critic of Rwandan government faces a lot of attacks, and some of them have died. We've seen, and some have been imprisoned. Like people from the political party of Victoire Ingabire, they keep getting disappeared. Some get killed. We've seen the singer Kizito Mihigo. He has been killed under Rwanda police custody. So we have to keep fighting. We have to stop being scared, because one thing I will say, one of the strongest weapon that oppressor can use against you is to silence you. That's the primary weapon, silencing you. And then once you are silenced, they can do anything they want to you. But if you keep making your voice heard, it becomes difficult for them to keep coming after you. And also, you are raising awareness. More people are knowing exactly what is going on. So let's avoid keeping quiet and just looking at the things being done. Keep seeing these crimes and atrocities being done to people, and then we'll keep silent. No, let's speak up. Let's stand up for ourselves. If we don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it.
Agree. Silence is violence. Not only do Rwandans actually do they go after Rwandans today as we speak, this week. There's a campaign going on in Canada by some hate groups that work for the government of Rwanda to silence an author, Judy River, who wrote about the genocide of the Congolese people and the Rwandan people in the Congo conflict and also in Rwanda. So again, I think it's important that we continue to shed light and continue to speak up. And the cancel culture, we just experienced it here. You know, they want to silence all of these voices that are speaking up in telling the truth. But the more voices, the better. So let's continue to use our voices, you know, to raise this awareness. And Freeman, if I can, you
also,
can.
I want to add on one thing really quick. Among some of the methods they use to silence us, especially Rwandan government, is kidnapping. They've been abducting people, outside Rwanda, especially in the neighboring countries in East Africa, Tanzania, Kenya. A lot of Rwandans who becomes critics of the Rwandan government, they disappeared. Also, not even that, even beyond the borders, there have been threats. People living in England, Belgium, they have received police reports telling them to be careful because there are some Rwandan hitmen who are going after them. So that's another type of intimidation they use, and we have to keep speaking up because those things have to stop.
Agreed. Again, we want to spread this all over the continent and continue to uphold the legacy of the great Lumumba. So again, the hashtag for today is Lumumba Day. And Freeman also wanted you to wrap this up with your remarks on the hopes and prospects for realizing the vision of our great leader, Patrice Lumumba.
Claude, thank you so much. Nadine, thank you kindly for your kind words, guys. It is right now, guys, as you have seen, as you just witnessed, we were hacked in the middle of a live because for whatever reason, our truth should never make it out. So I just want to be grateful to you, sons and daughters of Africa, and all of you peace lovers all over the world. In the spirit of Lumumba, in this day of Lumumba Day, let us work together. Let us work together and uproot evil. Uproot evil where evil is. Let us say no. Let us fight against it peacefully, guys. As you have experienced and as you see it on a daily basis, when evil appears, when bad things are happening, they do not care whether you are a woman, whether you are a man, whether you are a Congolese, Rwandese, or Sudanese, or someone in one of those so-called third world countries. These killings, these atrocities, when they're taking place, they take place regardless of who you are. So let us work together as brothers and sisters and fight for justice, fight for rights, fight for a better tomorrow for our brothers and sisters all over the world. There is no reason why today, as sons of Africa, we should be poor. There's no reason why today, sons of Africa, we should be killing one another. We have more than enough resources to take care of our everyday need. Let's take the time to know who we are as a people. Let's take the time to know what kind of resources we have. And let's take the time to say no to imperialism. People who want to take over our lives, we can coexist. We can share the resources all over the world, but not at the expense of slavery. We don't want to be nobody's slave. For those of you listening, and for those of you who may have the ideas that Africa it's a modern plantation. So sons and daughters of Africa, it's necessary that we come together and say no. We come together and actually work hard for a better Africa, for a better countries, or whichever country you come from, for a better community, for a better family, for a better you. It's really necessary that all of us we work together for that. Lastly, all of us as human beings, whether you are in the United States, whether you are in France, Canada, Asia, Russia, Africa, somewhere, we all have inalienable right to life, pursuit of happiness, to freedom of expression, to just being you. Without a gun, without a gun on your head, without someone coming in and say that you were born in the wrong side of on the wrong side of the street. Those inalienable rights, these are human rights. They're not American rights. They're not French. They're not British only. They're not Germans only. They're not Chinese only. These are human beings. Whether you're from a first world country or a third world country. So I want us to acknowledge the fact that these inalienable rights, these are all our rights. And I think that it's about time that we claim these rights, not because someone owes us a favor, but because these are the rights that each and every one of you arrived to this world with those rights within you. You don't need favors from any one of these people to have those inalienable rights. So, and with that in mind, Claude, I also want to say thank you to you for taking the time to have put together this program. As much of interruption as we have had, this is a fantastic conversation. And the fact that you guys are brave. Nadine, thank you so much for such a wonderful story that you have shared with us. There is more where that came from, guys. I just want you to know. And I'm super grateful that I have the privilege to know this man and this woman, and to share a platform with them today. And I know tomorrow it's gonna be many more of you, and we want to hear your voices. Your voice matter just as much as your life matters. So let's take back our lives. Let's reclaim our rights. It doesn't matter whether you have no money, no shelter. Just remember who you are. And with that in mind, Claude, please take it back. Thank you so much. Claude, I think you may be muted, but
yeah, I'm gonna be very brief here. In closing, just really thank you both for your testimonies, for sharing with the world stories that have been long hidden from the public. The second is I want to thank everybody that was in audience, that joined us, and everybody that will continue to share this conversation with the rest of the world so that we can all uphold our responsibility. Then lastly, our call is for putting out the truth and the whole truth of what is happening to our people on the African continent and all over the world, and to uphold the legacy of Lumumba of a united, thriving Africa, starting with a thriving Congo. And to do that, I think truth must be told, which is why I'm so grateful for you both for sharing your testimonies. Two, we must pursue justice. And for me, the starting point is we must pursue those who are documented in the UN mapping report for having committed crimes against more than 6 million Africans in the region, in the Congo, starting with the Congo, the UN mapping report for Congo as a starting point, because it documents only 617 major incidents, but there's thousands of others. And justice must be pursued for those who led these things. And once we achieve truth, justice, I think we can achieve peace in the region and in liberation, and eventually we can thrive. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you guys, and I wanted to especially thank HMG Studio for giving us the space to hold this conversation. Thank you again, and we will be talking again in the near future. We'll continue these conversations, both in the region, on the continent, on the globe, and I look forward to having you both, Freeman and Nadine, in future conversations. I hope you'll accept the invitation. Thank you all.
Likewise. Thank you.
Osekuru nyagasani, tabara bawe nyagasani. Osekuru nyagasani, tabara bose nyagasani. Lekundorere wa mubyeyi, lekundorere twashoboye, lekundorere wa mubyeyi, lekundorere twashoboye, lekundorere, 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 ayiwe. Ibaze kwicwa uhagaze ugapfira muri nyagasani ukabura kivugira abo muhuje bavugirwa ukabura kivugira abo muhuje bavugirwa rekundorere wa mubyeyi we rekundorere twashore rekundorere wa mubyeyi we rekundorere twashawe rekundorere 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 ayiwe hari mwiki ridasanzwe bene kagisha twizihiwe byahindutse nk'ibyarugaju abara bacu bitaba inama bitabye inama bitaba imana bitabye inama bitaba imana rekundorere wa mubyeyi we rekundorere twashore rekundorere wa mubyeyi we rekundorere twashawe rekundorere 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 ayiwe n'abayigicibwa mu rugo sinizeye abo hanze y'inkiko wa murimyi yanyimye imbuto muhumuza anyimye ikivuguto wa murimyi yanyimye imbuto muhumuza anyimye ikivuguto rekundorere wa mubyeyi we rekundorere twashore rekundorere wa mubyeyi we rekundorere twashawe rekundorere 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 ayiwe rekundorere 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 ayiwe rekundorere 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 ayiwe rekundorere 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 ayiwe